Welcome and thank you for joining us for today's webinar, Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Sales. So just before we jump in, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Kathleen Wong and I'm here at TGO, and I'm pleased to have Steve Bowles, who is our CRM specialist, here with us today. So before we get started, just a few housekeeping items. Your phones are all on mute so that we can reduce any background noise. But if you have any questions during the webinar, please feel free to put them into the GoToWebinar interface, and we'll be sure to read them out at the end of the presentation. When you do exit the presentation, there will be a survey that pops up. Please take the time to fill it in, as that helps us improve any of our future presentations. In addition, we will have a special offer at the end of the presentation, so be sure to stay around for that. Okay, so for those of you who don't know who TGO is, we are financial system specialists focused on the office of the CFO. We guarantee all the success with all our projects at a fixed fee. So at TGO, we're always looking for ways to educate our clients and prospects with new solutions to help them enhance their dynamic systems. So for the month of March, we had a 3-part webinar series on predictable revenue forecasting. We did one in the previous weeks on our budgeting solution, and today we're going to look at how Dynamics 365, which is formerly Dynamics CRM, how it can help you accurately predict revenue forecasts so you can predict sales, allowing you to influence future decisions. We do have another webinar coming up tomorrow, Analysis Cubes in Dynamics GP, where we will show you how the GP sales cubes can be used to analyze both past and future revenue for predictive revenue reporting. This will complete our month's webinar series, and we'll be featuring 3 brand new webinars in the month of April, all around automating your processes. And that's on the screen right now. So without further ado, I'd like to hand it over to Steve.
Thanks, Kathleen. All right, I'm going to start off with talking about, actually we'll switch slides here for you. Just give me 1 second here. There we go. All right, first of all, thank you for the introduction, and I'm going to be spending the next roughly 35 minutes or so taking you through Microsoft Dynamics 365. Before I begin, I want to talk a little bit about why people choose Microsoft Dynamics CRM or Dynamics. I'm calling it Microsoft Dynamics CRM because I come from a little bit from the old school, and we are focused on the sales aspect of Dynamics 365. Dynamics 365 is an all-encompassing package. This is going to be one facet of that, and it really, Dynamics 365 grew from Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So let me just outline some of the reasons why people choose this. Industry-leading CRM capabilities. So to begin with, since it grew out of originally a CRM system to Dynamics 365, we have the functionality, world-class functionality in our system that really no one else has as a complete bundle in one package. Familiarity with user experience. I'm going to really focus on that today, and what we're talking about is if you use Microsoft products today, if you're using Outlook, if you're using your Outlook, you're using any of the Office 365 products, Excel and Word, Microsoft Dynamics CRM integrates with all of these packages and is actually delivered from the cloud or from on-prem. We'll talk about that as well. But it's that familiar experience of Microsoft product, Windows 10. It integrates fully within Windows 10 for Cortana even. Higher return on investment, more value. So because it has that look and feel and ease of use through all the Windows products, we find that customers get a higher return on their value because it's easy to use, it's easy to integrate with all of their different packages. You don't even have to be on a Microsoft ERP back office system to have your data flow directly into the Dynamics product now. They've really improved over the years the focus on getting integration with not only their own ERP products out there, but other ERP products as well. The power of choice, so you can deploy it in multiple ways. With various pricing options. I mean, we have an incredible flexibility now on our pricing of mixing and matching different price options for customers' needs. So when we first came out with Dynamics CRM, by the way, back in 2000, so we're talking 17 years ago, we had a very rigid pricing structure. You bought this product and you paid X for it. Now we have so many different pricing options based on how the customer really wants to use the product internally. And flexibility, ease of customization and integration and development. So you can make Microsoft Dynamics CRM look and feel like your own product, like it was custom built for you very quickly and easily, with direct integration back to all of your other services and accounting systems and ERP systems as your back office. So it can become one interface that can display everything going out through the organization if you want it to be that. One of the things that Microsoft's been focused on, specifically over the last 5 years, is being able to deploy their products from any device. And what does that mean? You know, in one moment you're at your desk, you're using your Outlook, you're using your, you leave the office, you want to use your tablet, you're in your car parked at the safe tech spot zone, and you want to look up an account information on your phone. One interface, real time, back to your entire environment, back to your entire CRM system. So being able to deploy the same interface with the same technologies across multiple devices simply and easily. And we've worked very hard over the last 10 years to make this a reality, and Microsoft has done just an incredible job at making sure that that mobile people can get to the information that they need. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to be focused primarily on the web interface today, folks, but I want you to understand, everything I show you today can run directly out of your Outlook, can run directly off your iPad or your Surface device or your Android device, and can run directly off your phone. So the phones we support are iPhones, Android phones, Windows phones still, and we do have browser support still on some of the newer BlackBerries. Obviously, if they're running the new Android OS, there's no problem there. But even on a native BlackBerry device, you can still access some of the web interface items from those devices. So basically, all the major phones, you can access all your information. We're going to jump right in and take a look at the software. That's the last slide you'll see from me for a few minutes. Just give me one moment while I move this over. So I'm logged in. First of all, for those of you on the call that use Office 365, I want to explain to you where this is all coming from. So if you're using Office 365 today, Microsoft is just another Microsoft CRM or Microsoft Dynamics 365 is just another add-on to your Office 365. So all of your items from a navigational point, getting to your email directly without having to leave the screen, your email, your calendars, your OneDrive, your SharePoint, your Power BI, all the way down, even your PowerPoint, all your Office items, your Excel, your Word, everything coming from one environment. And you don't have to jump out and open another application or go to your computer and open that application. You can open it directly from within your browser, from within the same screen. I'm in the Dynamics CRM screen, but I can get to all my applications by navigating simply up to the tile. So really quick and easy navigation. Microsoft's done an incredible job here of making sure that we have just first-class navigation. So as we come across the top, the way Microsoft's laid theirs out is different than other products. Everything gets accessed from this top toolbar, a very simple, clean toolbar. And I'm just going to I'm going to click on the first icon, which is the Dynamics 365, all of your applications. So if you're using Dynamics 365 for sales, That shows up as an application for you in your menu bar. You might have customer service. You might have financials. You might have a number of things throughout the system that you can add to simply by turning them on, and they become applications that are controlled by security, so only certain people can get to them. Only certain people can have access to these applications. So, for instance, if you had your sales team, we only want our sales team to be able to get to the sales module. Moving across the screen, again, we've kept it very simple across the top. Our sales area shows up as an icon, and below that are all our submenus. So if we wanted to get to our accounts, our contacts, our leads, our opportunities, let's say we have some integration back to our ERP system. We want to get to our invoices. We want to see invoices that are specific to customers. We want to see our products. We want to see our quotes, our orders. We can get to all of these simply from navigating to the sales, and a drop-down menu will appear for us. We also have additional items. I have some more modules turned on, but if you had just sales, all you would see would be the sales, the sales icon with these submenus underneath. Very simple and easy to be able to view that. As I move across, we've made navigation and finding things super easy. First of all, we have a little search button right at the top. We can type in if we wanted to search for, let's say we wanted to search for a company. So simply hit the search, and it's going to search the entire database for anything that relates to AdventureWorks. I just typed in ADV, so anything that started with ADV had AdventureWorks, accounts, contacts that are related to them, leads that had it, opportunities that might be associated with it, products, invoices would show up if I had invoices, or anything like that would show up and continue to search. So one search area that searches the entire database. Very simple and easy. Nobody does this as well as Microsoft when it comes to searching their databases now. Recently found records. So think about it as a breadcrumb. One of the things that's frustrated me in particular over the years with different CRM systems, and I've used them all, folks, is this idea of going into a screen and having to back out of the screen, or you know, I take a phone call and then I got to go back in and search for them again. Every time I look at something, it records what I looked at in terms of a breadcrumb for me. It shows that, hey, I went to opportunities, I have AdventureWorks up here, I looked at that company, I've looked at my sales activity dashboards, I looked at a product today. I can even pin these. You see a little pin clip? If I have something that I want to always appear, so let's say I have my top 5 accounts, I don't even have to look for them in the database. I can come log into my CRM, come over to my recent breadcrumb, and literally come in and just click on that, and it'll open up the account for me. That's simple and easy to get to. As I continue across the toolbar, I can add new records really easily from here. If I hit the plus sign, I may want to add a new account. I may want to add an appointment, or an expense, or a contact. Any of these items can be added with a single click of a mouse button, and you can go ahead and open up and create an account without having to leave the screen. We're going to go in and take a look at one of my favorite companies here, AdventureWorks. So again, I'm going to go to my breadcrumb. I could have searched for them, but I'm just going to click on my breadcrumb, and it's going to open up their profile page. At the heart of every CRM system is some sort of profile that that the users will be viewing. So what a profile consists of is really just the account information. Who are they? Where are they? So we have a little Bing map set up here to show us where they're located. If I can get my mouse to participate with me, they're in South Africa, okay? So that's why it took it a few minutes to get there. So AdventureWorks is my company that I'm looking at. In the center of the screen is what we call the activities area. And what this does is it aggregates everything that's happened with this account. So this account, somebody made a phone call to this account. We've had some tasks completed for this account, or the tasks open. We can actually complete them from the window if we want. Okay, so we have all of this information from everything that's happened with the account sitting on our front window, so we don't have to scroll anywhere. I want you to think about this. I'm going to use this term a lot today. A single pane of glass for us. So I want to see everything to do with AdventureWorks. I want to see their activities. I want to maybe plan their activities. I can add a phone call. If I wanted to call them, oh, called, and I can say I left a voicemail, or I can say when is it due, or who made the call, who's the call with. It'll put the primary contact in. I can switch that. Is it outgoing? Click OK. Now I have recorded an activity quickly and easily to the system. So I'm logged in as Megan. I made the call. Done. I can add a task. I can add an email, an appointment, an approval if you have some sort of approval structure set up. I can a booking alert for if I had field service and things like that. So it depends on which modules you have is what shows up underneath this. We call this the ellipse, by the way. I keep hearing people call it the 3 dots, but just like your phone, we call this the ellipse. So everything under the ellipse is where we have additional menu items. We can record notes. And we can put attachments to those notes and store them directly in the database, or we can even link them. We can get another. One of the things that the true integration of Microsoft CRM allows is the ability also to integrate directly to your OneNotes, creating OneNote books for you. So your notes can directly go to OneNotes if you want it set up that way. Okay, so that's our activity area in the center of the screen. Just moving over, items like standard contact information. Who are our contacts, what if they had any service cases associated with them. Let's say they had a customer service issue, you would see that directly on the screen. Opportunities that you might have with them. So here's a whole host of opportunities. And again, we can go on. We have products, price list, field service items. All of these items that you see on the screen could be tailored to be what you want them to be as well. So if you didn't want to see the word Facebook here, takes literally seconds to remove that for you. And normally what we do is we do some customization for you initially and do some train the trainer on how to customize your own system very quickly and easily inside Dynamics CRM. So I'm going to back out here a little bit, talk a little bit about the interface. So one of the items that we have, so we're just going to look at, is called a grid view. So this is where all your accounts are, where they are. And one of the things that we've added is, and I think this is a great feature that they've added in Dynamics 365, is the ability to see if, for instance, AdventureWorks here has a hierarchy attached to it. And what that hierarchy does is tells us that they are the parent company over a number of other companies. So if we click on the hierarchy view, it can show us in a card view exactly, so AdventureWorks owns City Power and Light, or is connected to City Power and Light. It even tells us their revenue, who the owner of the account is for both of those. We can actually expand this down even to who the primary contact is, or this is actually another company that's owned by them. So this is a hierarchy saying AdventureWorks is tied to all these companies. It's a direct relationship between these companies. So we can set hierarchies up. You might have a 3M division, and that 3M division might have many offices and many divisions with all different names. Another great example is Magna, right? So Magna might be the parent company. They own all these different named companies out there, and all these companies, it's hard to keep track of in systems, so who owns who. Well, now we have a visual representation of who is what in the system. It's just one of the many features that we've put in Dynamics CRM to make it easier for your salespeople and your customer service people to get that insight that they need into a client. Let's go back into our AdventureWorks real quick here. I just want to show you how quick and easy it is to add information to it. So I'm in AdventureWorks. Let's say I want to add a new contact. I hear of a new person from a trade show. I just simply have to hit the plus button, and what it's going to do for me is it's going to fill out all the information about the address if the person's probably at the same address. So all I'd have to fill out here is the person's contact information, maybe an email address. And hit save. That's how hard it is to add a contact to the system. Go to the company. Actually, you don't even have to go there. You could do it right from the very top of the screen like I showed you earlier. You can simply click on Add New, and that would if I wanted to add a contact, add the information for you directly to the database. We just make it so simple for us to add that information in the system. I'm going to take us back out here for a second, back out to our user, what I call a user dashboard. We're going to look at two different items actually today. We're going to talk about management dashboards for looking to see what's going on, and then what I call user dashboards. So CRM gives you user dashboards that allows you to, when a user logs in, you can make this their home page. They come in, they can see all of their opportunities. They can come in and see what leads they have. So they're single pane of glass for the day of everything that they need to do, all their activities. They might have some graphics showing the sales leaderboard to see where they are by, by stands, as it stands with other salespeople, what opportunities that might be set there, and they can even set this to their own, my own opportunities to see what opportunities that they have. So the single pane of glass allows us to see information about our day or about our week or about our customers. So what do we have in our sales pipeline? And you might come in here as a salesperson and say, well, gee, I've got to go and follow up on this. This was estimated close date was back in November, so I'm going to go in there and take a look at this opportunity real quick and see where, give the customer maybe a call, go through, and so I have an opportunity up on the board here. Just give me a second here. Actually, let's go into another opportunity. Just going to go back to opportunities for a second, and we're going to bring up, let's bring up the trade wins one. Okay, so this opportunity is an opportunity that I was working on earlier. The other opportunity was my opportunity, so it was. We can restrict information from being shown to you on the screen if it's not your opportunity, which is a security feature. So I can have details about my opportunity, who the account is, what the forecasted amount is, even a little click button to add it to my forecast. So what's my upside? If my salespeople are some sales managers want to have all the opportunities in the system, but what do they want to commit to the forecast for the month? A description of the opportunity, all of the activity information, but across the top, this is the unique part here. We have a sales stage. So qualify, develop, propose, and close. So what's happened is this is in the proposal stage, and these are all customizable, folks, but what you can do is move these between stages, and it'll tell you how long it's been open for, and then we have a set of checklists that make. This gives the ability to the salespeople when they're working with it to know where they are, make sure that they have gone through some of the sales process that you've laid out for them. So have I identified the sales team? Yes. Have I developed the proposal? Yes. Have I completed internal review? Yes, I have. Okay. Is there a discount associated with it? Have I presented the proposal to the customer? So when you come back in and look at the opportunity, you know you've completed those steps. It makes it difficult for you to miss some steps, which could affect the sale on a longer-term sale. On a shorter-term sales or quicker sales, a lot of times we limit this lower section down to just some basic elements. But the key thing is where we are in our stages. So something that's in the proposal stage, maybe the sales manager might want to say, okay, that's the ones I'm focused on for the month or for the quarter to get in. That's part of our value proposition of having a CRM system is what are we forecasting for our company to come in terms of the next 30 days, 90 days. What's our sales pipeline look like? What should we be focused our attention on? So I'm in the proposal stage. Now I might put a note in that says I'm waiting for approvals from the customer. In that case, I may want to move the stage. So I'm just going to move to the next stage. I'm going to move it to the closing stage. And the reason why I want to move it to the closing stage, just move it to the, let me move to the closing stage. Did I miss something? Opportunity sales process, just give it a second here. not the owner of the I'm not the owner of the opportunity, so again it's restricting me from moving it in the sales cycle. But I can move it between these, and what that'll do is allow me to put it in the next stage with the next set of questions. Actually, if I click on some of these, tells me each one has menus underneath. You can see, so the qualifying stage might have what is their budget, what's their sales process. Develop stage has different items, you know, what's the customer need, have we identified stakeholders, proposal stage, which is the stage that I'm in right now, and then we can go to, we can even have, I think it's up to 12 stages, which is a fairly complex sales cycle, but 12 stages that we can go through, so we can add to these stages and even switch stages between it, so we can actually have different types. You can have product-specific stages, if you want to think about it like that. So that makes it really good at if you have a different types of sales. If you have like a service sale and a product sale, some opportunities might be more focused for a service-oriented sale, and you can have different steps that are involved with that. Some might be longer, so you may have more steps. Some might be shorter for a short-term sale item where there's only a couple steps. So this sales process is the backbone of our opportunity funnel management inside Dynamics CRM today. So again, coming back out. Actually, what I'm going to jump to now, so we're moving along in time here, I'm going to jump to how we get some information about reporting this from management. So everything that I've shown you, so one is the input into the system. So we set up opportunities, we mark down values that they are, we put sales stages with them, we add accounts, we add contacts. How do we get that information out? Well, I'm going to jump over here to Power BI for a moment. And the reason why I'm going to Power BI, I'm going to jump into my dashboard, is that I can look at a single pane of glass that shows me information from multiple systems. So it doesn't have to be just from CRM. This is the incredible part about the new Microsoft platform. So let's say I have my accounting system. Let's say I have a distribution system, and I have a budgeting forecast spreadsheet, and then possibly another data warehouse, even a separate SQL data warehouse somewhere where I pull data in for marketing or something like that. Or even for that matter, a marketing automation system that's outside of a Microsoft product. I know I have a number of customers that use products like HubSpot and things like that. I bring all of this data into this one pane of glass. So I'm looking at here my average deal size. That's coming from CRM. I can move these around, dropping and dragging them wherever I want them to be on the screen. I can drill down them. So I may want to look at my win count this year. When I click the button, it loads for me a detailed report showing me what my win count was, what my close rate was, my average deal size, my revenue won this month, my estimated revenue for the period. If I look across the bottom of the screen, I have literally well, tens at least of different types of reports that allow me to see what my won and lost revenue is. So this is analytic reporting at its best. That's fully user controlled. So if I wanted to, I don't know if I have any here that are, let's see here. So as I click on the different selectors, so if I want to look at durable manufacturing, how many were won and lost, there's none there. But what that gives me is the ability to drill down and dynamically change items on the screen as I go through. Sales activities, you know, who has what activities by what rep, which ones are high priority, which ones are low priority, which ones are normal priority. We call these slicers, and what they do for us is allow you to have an interactive analytics with your data in real time from multiple sources. So I'm looking at CRM data, but this could very well be your accounts receivable. It could be your budgets for the year. You can build this dashboard, pulling these cards in and showing us our actual data versus our budgeted data from two different systems. So think about the platform being able to pull all this data in from multiple places, display it to you on a single pane of glass that's fully modifiable by the user, that allows us to report on how we want to see the data. And I've done almost 100 of these systems now where we've pulled this data in for various customers, and they all come up with unique ways to represent their data, whether they do it in cards or whether they do it in graphics. Some like maps, using map data. Some like just standard, graphic items, but very quick and easy to see within the system. You can even go in here and ask it questions. So what is our one lead count? You could type out a question, define a question, and what it'll do for you is create a graphic for you based on the question if you have data set up for that question. You can even do some quick analytics or quick insights into all your data. This is, actually, we'll let this run for a second. And what this does is it looks for outliers in your data over time. So they actually have a lot of artificial intelligence now inside their analytics cubes, which goes out and looks at your data and auto-create reports for you that you can use in dashboards from your data into, so it's already done. So I can click on my, so it'll create for me, auto-create for me dashboards from data that you have inside your system and show you outliners and information about that data. So quick and easy. You could take this and pin this to your dashboard without even having to create a dashboard on your own. The system did this all automatically for me. I didn't preset anything up in the system to be able to do this. And they just make it so easy for us to now report against all of our CRM data, anything from our, let's go back up to the menu here. So think about that, reporting against all of our accounts, our contacts, our opportunities, pulling information in from our accounting systems for our invoices if you wanted, again, pulling very specific information. I'll give you some examples here. So a number of our customers here at TGO, we integrate their GP, for instance, back to Dynamics CRM, and they pull in, one customer that I deal with pulls in quote information. So directly whenever they do a quote, all the reps want to be able to see the quotes, so we pull that information into as quotes, and they can see what the customer's been quoted, especially in the case of high volume. Invoices, what outstanding invoices do they have, or what closed invoices, what have they bought, and being able to analyze that data in real time. When the sales rep's on the phone with the customer, that person has access to everything that you give them access to see from a security perspective, but being able to have intelligent conversations with their customers without having to switch screens or without having even to have buying licenses technically for the accounting system just for the salespeople. So just to, I'm just going to wrap up now on the interface for a minute. So to review what we have, you can get to all of your, if you're using Office 365, if you're not, by the way, you're not restricted, just for the technical people on the phone. You don't have to have Office 365 for all your stuff in Office 365. You can have your own Exchange servers and all that, all the infrastructure that you have today, and you can utilize this from the Office 365 platform with a single sign-in, if you wanted to just have CRM or just have one of the Microsoft products. So if you're familiar with it, but if you do have Office 365, it does make it really, nice because you can jump out and get to your mail, get to your SharePoint, get to your Office items, all from one interface. You can get to your apps that you have access to get to. You can get to all your sales information. You can get to your, and again, if down the road you wanted to look at using some of the financial aspects of Dynamics CRM, you can do that as well. All of that wrapped up, and I'm going to just bring up my slide here. All of that information that I've been showing you, accessing it from your computer, from your tablet, and from your phone is critical in today's mobile environment, being able to get to it from anywhere. Now, I'm going to just take a moment. We're going to jump to questions in just a few moments, but we're going to, one of the first questions that comes up always right away is, how much does this cost? Okay, So Dynamics 365 has multiple pricing options. I took the two most popular for the sales aspect and put them up on the screen here. So we have the Dynamics 365 for Sales Enterprise Edition at $115.50 per month, that's Canadian. And we also have a $12.20 option. And I want to explain the differences between these two. They give you access to Dynamics CRM, but and you can mix and match them. So you might have, for instance, some salespeople that are using opportunities and entering data for opportunities. You might get them, say, 5 or 6 licenses at $115, and then you might have 10 or 15 administrative people that need access to the accounts and contacts and billing information, especially if we've integrated your ERP, like your invoice information, all those details for $12 a month. They can get to everything in there, including activities. They just can't enter an opportunity and do certain of the sales functions. That's why we make the big jump. That's how Microsoft kind of hooks you there. They get you. So the full sales functions are $115.50 per user, and then they have kind of a light version, a CRM user, that gives you the ability to get into seeing the data and utilizing some of the data, but without doing the heavy lifting of entering opportunities and things like that. So this all rolls out, and then of course there's other Office 365 options. We're talking specifically today about Dynamics 365 for Sales Edition, but when we get into things like implementation and then integration and some of the tools, those are obviously optional and cost additional fees, but most people just want to know a little bit about the price of Dynamics CRM and what we've shown today. So everything that I basically showed you today regarding the sales module is covered under these two price options. So Kathleen, would you like to sort of jump in and see if we can get some questions?
Thank you, Steve. Just before we jump into questions, I did want to tell everybody about our special offer.
Oh, let me go to the screen. Okay. Yeah, I'm going as quickly as I can.
So we are offering 45 days of TGO's Unlimited Financial Systems Assurance for free. So what is our TGO Assurance? Pretty much it provides you and your organization with unlimited support for your systems, including but not limited to Microsoft Dynamics GP or Microsoft Dynamics CRM. We can also support any of your third-party add-ons that you may have. If you're not familiar with TGO, we do have an in-house support team that is solely dedicated to clients on assurance plans. And how do you qualify? All you have to do is spend an hour to 2 hours with one of our consultants to review your existing system, just to make sure that we can support you. This offer is available to anybody not currently on TGO support plan. Okay, and sorry, Steve, you could just go back one more slide. I just want to remind everybody about the upcoming webinars. Tomorrow we have a sales analysis webinar on Microsoft Dynamics GP Cubes. And in April we have 3 webinars revolving around automation, so simplifying your budgeting process with True Sky, one of our budgeting and forecasting products, working with workflow in Microsoft Dynamics GP, and marketing automation in Dynamics 365. Okay, so with that, I'm going to see if we have any questions. Okay, so first question. Does Office 365 or Dynamics CRM, is it HIPAA compliant?
Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. The answer is yes and no. So there are parts of it that are. The biggest complaint was the data was hosted in the U.S., which made it not. So Microsoft has multiple data centers, and they have, for government and for compliancy, spun up data centers in Canada so they could get the government business, although the government still isn't utilizing CRM Online necessarily because of the problems associated with privacy. So to answer your question, there's a couple different ways you can do it. It is compliant if you go on-prem for sure, because then you host your own data, and it does have audit trails, and it has so it has an audit environment on every record, and it has controls against obviously delete and removal of information. The other issue though becomes is accessibility or items under the Privacy Act. It has to be hosted in Canada. So CRM Online without using the Canadian data centers, and I think there's additional fees and stuff like that associated with using the Canadian data centers, makes it semi is what I'm really getting. I know it's a wishy-washy answer, but I'd have to give you more information. We'd have to have a little bit of a further discussion on where your requirement comes from and what the specifics are of the requirement, and then investigate that. I hope that answers that for you.
And we'll always be happy to take your questions offline and we can do a more in-depth discussion. Okay, next question. Can client-patient information be saved and shared safely through the Office 365 Dynamics CRM platform?
Can client information be saved and shared? So I just want to make sure I understand the question. Well, that's kind of what you're doing inside the database. You're saving it to a secure encrypted database and you're sharing that. If you want to maybe type out a little bit of an addition to that, the answer is yes, it is doing that. We're doing that back to an encrypted database and you're sharing that amongst people that have access to it. External sharing absolutely as well. So we have portals available for Dynamics CRM that allows customers, for instance, to log in with their and see their information and update their information. That is actually a module that sits on top of Dynamics CRM today. So you can link your website, for instance, and have a customer service logging portal back to your database, so that technically you are sharing your information if you want to. Hope that answers that.